Today I have so many books for y'all. You saw from the thumbnail that I have a huge book haul. It's huge to me anyway. I didn't count the number of books, but there are quite a few. The first stack that I'm going to show you, I actually had already opened the box, and then I thought, oh my goodness, you're on YouTube now. You should open the box on YouTube. But as I said, the first stack has already been opened, so I'm gonna try to do this as rapid fire as possible because there are a lot of books here. So the first book is Moth by Amber McBride, and I got it because of the cover, which is so pretty. I don't like reading the back of books, but one thing is for certain, I'm not even going to remember what I read. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just a couple of sentences so that you get the gist in case you are interested in getting this book. So it says, Moth has lost her family in an accident. Although she lives with her aunt, she feels alone and uprooted. That is until she meets Sani, or Sinai, a boy who is also searching for his roots. So that could be really cute. I forgot to mention that all of these books came from the BookOutlet. So as you may or may not know, if you don't, that have been on the shelves too long and so they become overstock, and they end up in places like a book outlet. So you get them at a reduced price, which is great for people like me who loves to collect books. The next book I have for you is The House of Deep Water, and this one's by Jenny McFarland, and it's about Riverbend, Michigan. It is a kind of small town most can't imagine leaving, but three women couldn't wait to escape. I'm into it. I love contemporary stories, historical fiction, right up my alley. The next book that I picked up is The Black Queen. So this is The Black Queen again by Jumata Emil, I think is how you pronounce the author's name. And the crown is heavy in Lovett, Mississippi. Nova Albright, the first black homecoming queen at Lovett High, is dead, murdered the night of her coronation. Her body was found the next morning in the old slave cemetery she spent her weekends revitalizing. Whew, okay, I didn't realize that. I'm glad I got it, but I think it's going to break me. I really hope that that's not what's going to happen. But I mean, if we're talking about a dead homecoming queen, I don't know how it's not going to break me. So, next title. I also picked up We Are All So Good at Smiling by Amber McBride, so another Amber McBride book. And of course I picked it up because of the cover. The cover is gorgeous. So she's the author of Moth, the first book I had shown you. It says, Whimsy is back in the hospital for treatment of clinical depression. When she meets a boy named Ferry, she recognizes that they both have magic in the marrow of their bones. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so there's something fantastical about this story. Okay, so like young adult fantasy. All right. So as much as I don't like reading the back of books, when I do read it, I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna like that. To people who also are like book lovers, is why you're probably here if you're a book lover. You get it. You get the madness. But I'm sure there is somebody who's going to come across this video, if not now, maybe at some point, and will say, girl, you did not buy all those books and you didn't know what they were about. Sure did, and did. The next book I have for you is People Person by Candace Carty Williams, and I had to get this book because I loved Queenie. And this is by the same author, and if you saw my I think it was my top books of 2024 video, I said that Queenie was one of the books for me that was at the top of the list. It was number 10 actually for me as a 5-star read. I absolutely loved that book. I know it had mixed reviews, but my personal experience with that book resulted in 5 stars. Loved it. I didn't even know she had another book, but when I saw this on BookOutlet, I recognized her name right away and said, oh, I gotta get that. So I'm excited to read this one. And it's, oh, okay. And so one of the blurbs written by another author, Jesse Armstrong, says, a dark comedy full of full of zinging dialogue, vivid characters, and all the constellations and complications of family. Okay, I love a good dark comedy. So a little bit about the actual story. Dimple Pennington, oh, I like the name. Dimple Pennington knows of her half siblings, Nikisha, Danny, Lizzie, and Prince, but she doesn't really know them. There are 5 people who don't have anything in common except disappointment, faint memories of being driven through Brixton in their dad's gold Jeep, and some pretty complex abandonment issues. Okay, you know what? Family stories are always interesting, and I love that it has been described as a dark comedy, so here for it. So I'm gonna go into a little bit of historical fiction now, because I saw American Daughters by Piper Hughley and knew I had to pick this up. I've seen people talk about this book and have really enjoyed it, so I figured I would enjoy it as well, because I really do enjoy historical fiction. It says, at the turn of the 20th century, in a time of great change, 2 women separated by social status and culture, but bound by their expected roles as the daughters of famed statesmen, forge a lifetime friendship. Portia Washington's father, Booker T. Washington, was formerly enslaved and spent his life championing the empowerment of Black Americans through his school, known popularly as the Tuskegee Institute, and his political connections. Dedicated to her father's values, Portia contributed by teaching and performing spirituals and classical music. But a marriage to a controlling and jealous husband made fulfilling her own dreams much more difficult. I'm going to read a little bit more of this just because it's about two important characters. When Theodore Roosevelt assumed the presidency, his eldest daughter, Alice Roosevelt, joined him at the White House. To try to win her father's approval, she eagerly jumped in to help him succeed. But Alice's political savvy and nonconformant behavior alienated as much as intrigued his opponents and allies. I'll stop there. This sounds so good. Oh my goodness. I have so many books that I have prioritized, including my 25 for 2025. I don't even know why I jumped on that train, but okay, I digress. I will put that video up at some point, probably, within the next couple of weeks. But I just, reading the back of this makes me want to move this to the front of the queue. So I don't know. It's my TBR, so I should do that if I want to, but we'll see, but that sounds really good. Keeping in line with historical fiction, which I also found out is going to become either a TV show or a movie. I don't know which. I heard it will be a Tyler Perry production, but it's Sisters in Arms by Kaya Alderson. And I really hadn't heard much about this book. I happened across someone's video and they happened to mention this book and the fact that it was going to be a movie adaptation. And I immediately knew that from the title I was intrigued. And so when I saw it on BookOutlet, I knew that I had to pick it up. And it says, Sisters in Arms says, as the first and only Black battalion of the Women's Army Corps, the legendary 6888, these brave women risked their lives to serve with honor against incredible odds. Okay, I'm really excited about that. And there's incredible praise. There is so much praise for this book. I mean, people are saying it's an extraordinary historical fiction debut. Oh, it's a debut for this author, which is even more impressive. It's not just another story about World War II, but it's stirring and timely. Oh my goodness, my camera battery died. I only talked about like 5 books and it's so frustrating. So I don't know where I left off, but I was talking about Sisters in Arms, and I was saying that, I've read a lot of World War II books, not sort of intentionally, but because I love historical fiction, I've come across a lot of books that have been quite enjoyable, but none have actually talked about Black women's role in the war. And so I am definitely going to be reading this book sooner than later. The next book I have for you is by an author who is all the rage right now, and I am so glad about it, even though I've not read anything of his yet. And that is Percival Everett's Erasure. I have been intrigued by this author ever since James became such a huge book and became book of the year for Barnes and Noble. And it made me go down the rabbit hole of, I want to know what else this man has written. And I've heard of this book. I've just not gotten around to reading it. So I have Erasure. And it says, Thelonious Monk Ellison's writing career has bottomed out. His latest manuscript has been rejected by 17 publishers, which stings all the more because his previous novels have been critically acclaimed. He seethes on the sidelines of the literary establishment as he watches the meteoric success of We's Lives in the Ghetto. Oh my goodness. Okay. A first novel by a woman who once visited some relatives in Harlem for a couple of days. Meanwhile, Monk struggles with real family tragedy. Of course, I had to get James. Now, one of my book clubs chose James for our March book, so I'm really excited to get into it because this has been on my watch list for a while, and I finally got a chance to pick it up and will be reading it very soon. Again, of course, by Percival Everett. And you can't go anywhere and not hear about this book. As I said, it is Barnes & Noble's Book of the Year for 2024, which of course is an incredible honor and I'm sure well-deserved. I did not read Huckleberry Finn as a kid. Once I got a sense of what it was about, I just was, as a kid, especially as a kid, I was super sensitive. That would not have been a book that I would have been able to read and not be sick to my stomach. So I decided to skip that. But now I am very intrigued by James, especially since the story's being told from the perspective of a Black man. I'm in. And so I'm ready. And the amount of praise for this book, I don't even have to tell y'all. It is just off the charts. People call it majestic, a masterpiece, a provocative and enlightening work of literary art. Like I can't wait to get down with the get down. Staying in the theme of Black male authors. And so I was so excited to pick up this book. This is from Jason Reynolds. And by the way, just so I'm clear, I said that all of these books came from BookOutlet, but I forgot that in the pile, I did have 2 that came from Barnes & Noble. And so James is one of them, and this is the other. So this is by James Reynolds, who is a beloved young adult writer and just a gifted speaker, and just, there's so many wonderful things about this author, but I don't want to go on and on. I love that Judy Blume, who was one of, if not my absolute favorite author as a child, has given a blurb to this book. And she says, Jason Reynolds has done it again, but in a totally new way. His take on Neon's first time with Aria, his true love, is fresh from start to finish. And so I'm really excited to jump into another YA book. And so it says, Neon is freaking out. 24 months ago, a feisty Fangy little dog chased him around a cemetery. Not Neon's finest moment, except chasing the dog. Chasing Neon was Aria. Way more than fine. 24 weeks ago, Neon and Aria, who are most definitely a thing, are thinking about connecting on a whole other level. So I'm looking forward to diving into this, because this is a topic that, should be discussed with young people, because sex happens. So, back to the ladies. I have a book, and the name is Brooklyn by Tracy Brown. I picked it up for the cover. The cover is absolutely beautiful to me. I love these warm, muted colors. Couldn't resist. And it says, Brooklyn Melody James has finally gotten the punishment she deserves after leaving a web of lies, heartache, and betrayal behind her. What? Okay, I was not expecting that. As her life slips away, Brooklyn remembers the events that shaped her into the cold, calculating creature she became. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, so I guess we're gonna find out what makes Brooklyn, Brooklyn, and I'm here for it. But yeah, I just dig the cover. The cover is just, whew, the cover's beautiful. All right, just a couple more that are loose. Maybe I need to do this in bundles. I feel like I've been talking forever. But then again, I love long book hauls, and so I'm just going to keep going, and hopefully you'll stay and watch the rest of it. I have The Banned Bookshop of Maggie Banks by Shauna Robinson, and I loved the cover. Again, another cover by, but also because this is about a bookshop, a banned bookshop. And in our good old US of A, there are bookshops that are being tormented, bookshop owners, Black bookshop owners, who are being tormented and being, harassed to get out of the neighborhood. And there is one in particular I can think of in Texas that is closing its doors, if it hasn't already closed, due to harassment and the like. And so in this day and age, we still have these kinds of issues to contend with. So this book intrigued me also because of the title. And so yeah, and I just read a book about banned books, and I'll be talking about that in my January wrap up, so you'll hear about that book. But this one says, when Maggie Banks arrives in Belle River to run her best friend's struggling bookstore, she expects to sell bestsellers for her small town clientele. But running a bookstore in a town with a famously bookish history isn't easy. Belle River's literary society insists on keeping the bookstore stuck in the past, and Maggie is banned from selling anything written this century. Okay. So we've got centuryists. Okay, I made that up. I made that word up. But it sounds like, we're going to find out a lot about her experience dealing with these people who want the books that they want. And the final loose book that I have that I had already unpacked, this also did come from BookOutlet, and that is The Final Strife by Sarah El Arafi. I hope I said her first name right. And first of all, get into the cover. Get into the cover. Blue is my favorite color, and so the minute I see anything in this color blue, my eyes are drawn straight to it. And then you've got this gorgeous girl on the cover with her beautiful twists or braids, her beautiful braids, and it just did something for me. It's just so stunning. So I had to pick it up, and then because of the title, I knew it had to be fantasy. So I said, I'm just going to go with it, and we're going to see what it's about. And so there's lots of praise on the back for The Final Strife. I can't wait to get into it. It is a chunker, but I am not scared. I'm here for it, especially if it's a good story. And I know that I saw, if not one, definitely, if not two, definitely one book talker who talked about this book being absolutely spectacular. So, I'll see for myself. Oh, I didn't even notice this. Y'all, I be buying books and get excited about the cover and don't open it. Look at the map. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay. So just to give you a blurb about what this book is about, it is the first book in a visionary fantasy trilogy. Oh, okay. So it's a trilogy. Okay, great. And it says, Scylla dreams of her days growing up in the Resistance when she was told she would spark a revolution that would free the Empire from the red-blooded ruling class's tyranny. A spark that was extinguished the day she watched her family murdered before her eyes. Oh, God. Whew. Okay. Well, you know what? That's usually what happens, and it causes people to head into war because they need to avenge their loved ones. And so I'm down for it. I'm definitely down for it. Okay. Now to more fun because I have more books. Okay. So here we go with the first box that I'm going to open up. Oh, wait, I lied. I have one more loose book. And I had to pick this one up because the cover was so stunning. Oh my goodness. And it's called Black Girl in Paris, which I've never heard of this book. But I was like, oh, I said, oh my goodness, sign me up. It's so gorgeous. And this is by Shay Youngblood. So, Black Girl in Paris wends its way around the mythology of Paris as a city that has called out to African-American artists like James Baldwin, Langston Hughes, and Josephine Baker before her. Youngblood's heroine leaves her home in the American South, nurturing a dream of finding artistic emancipation in the City of Light. Oh my God, yes. Oh yes, I am here for this. Oh my gosh. I had no idea. And there's lots of praise for this book. People say it's lyrical, intimate, funny, a tender coming of age story. Oh my gosh. So another one. Yes, can't wait. Oh, I think I did really well picking up these books. Just so well. All right. So all of the books that I had shown you, of course, were all by Black authors. This one I think is actually a box of more of a mixed bag. So let's see what we have. Okay, so the first book is Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn. And if you don't know, this is the second book in the Legendborn series. I know Oathbound is coming out later this year, and so it was so wonderful to see this book on BookOutlet, and I was able to get it. So excited. I did read Legendborn in November and really enjoyed the story, so I am so excited to continue. I'm not going to read the back. It wouldn't spoil it for me, but it might spoil it for you if you have not read Legendborn. But what I'm going to say is read Legendborn, because it is a really good story. So deep, so beautiful. And I'm not going to do a book review for it right now, but trust me when I say that it's got some good stuff in there that keeps you turning those pages. And so I'm excited to hit Bloodmarked next. This makes me so happy. All right. The second book I have is The Shadows Between Us. And this one's by Trisha Levenseller. And I'm not going to lie to you all. The reality is I picked up the book for this reason, because of the sprayed edges. So there was an ad in the email, because of course I get the BookOutlet emails. And so they had been promoting, like, guess what? We have sprayed edges. And I was like, oh, ran as quick as I could to the website to see which books were in sprayed edges. And of course, a lot of them I already own, but this one I didn't. And so, like the clown I am, I picked up the book because of the sprayed edges. The book could be trash for all I know. The book could be trash, but the sprayed edges are pretty. I just love it. It's pink and it's pretty. Okay, so the story, though, is my lovers all feel the need to give me nice things, very expensive things. It's been a fun game, learning their secrets, seducing them, getting them to shower me with gifts. But to be honest, I'm bored with it. I have a new game in mind. I'm going to woo the king. And it goes on. Okay. So she's going to woo the king. I'm here for it. Let's woo. Let's get to wooing. Yeah. Okay. So that's The Shadow Between Us. Is there a map or anything inside? Okay. Just, just, I guess, a drawing of maybe the village. I don't know. But, very pretty. Very, very pretty. Okay. And then this is a book that I did not think that I would ever pick up. But hear me out on this one. I chose to get it because when I tell you, I feel like in the last 3 months, almost every video I've watched has mentioned this book in some shape or form, and it's all been positive. And from the cover, I was just like, that just looks like some silliness that's not meant for me, right? It's probably meant for a different demographic, a different age group, and that's great. Like, that's great. That's why we have all of these books by a wide range of authors. But because so many people that I follow talked so highly about this book, I had to get it, and that is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. And the cover is cute, but romance, I do enjoy romance, right? I'm not a Grinch. I do enjoy romance, but it's not my number one. It's not even my number two. I enjoy it every now and again. So when I saw this cover, I was like, oh, it's probably all sappy and bleh. But it turns out that, well, according to the people that I follow anyway, it turns out that I guess it's got a little bit of grit to it. And it's not just like a sappy love story. Not that there's anything wrong with sappy love stories. So I'm looking forward to it. And it says it is, oh, I didn't know it was YA, but that makes sense, meaning the cover. So it says Mallory Greenleaf is done with chess. Every move counts nowadays. After the sport led to the destruction of her family 4 years earlier. How does chess lead to the destruction of your family? Oh my goodness. Mallory's focus is on her mom, her sisters, and the dead-end job that keeps the lights on. That is until she begrudgingly agrees to play in one last charity tournament and inadvertently wipes the board with notorious King's killer Nolan Sawyer, a current world champion and reigning bad boy of chess. Okay, so I am a nerd. So the minute you say there's a bad boy of chess, I'm in. Oh gosh, that's so fun. Oh my goodness. See why you have to be open? Because I swore that was not going to be a book for me. And it might not be. But it also could be. So we're going to find it. All right. Oh, and so this is Beasts of Prey by Ayana Gray. And this book I picked up because I had been shopping in Books A Million like months ago. And I picked up Beasts of Ruin because it like looked so good. And I loved the cover. The cover is similar to this. It's over there, and I'm like covered in books right now, so I'm not going to go get it. But when I brought it home, I realized that it was actually book 2. And I didn't realize that this was a series because, as you have picked up about me, I pick up books, and I don't know that they're a series. I don't know much of anything. So when I discovered that it was a series, then I realized, well, I can't read Beasts of Ruin before I find out what the first book is, and it's this one, Beasts of Prey. So I am excited because, first of all, the cover is gorgeous. These 2 little kids, well, they're little kids to me anyway. It says the hunt begins, and I'm like, what hunt? What's going on? So, El Casa, I'm not sure how you pronounce the name, was once a city of magic and splendor, but now magic, if my cat decides to cough up his lung behind me, let's just keep going. Because the dramatics be dramaticking with these jokers. There are 2 of them, but I think you only see one of them. But there are 2 of these jokers. All right. So, where did I leave off? Okay, so the magic and splendor, but now magic is no more than a myth. Until one night when Kofi, an indentured beastkeeper at the famous night zoo, unexpectedly unleashes a dangerous, untamed power that has been secretly brewing within her for years. She set into motion a chilling sequence of events that not only upends her whole world, but also links her to a complicated stranger with secrets of his own. Oh, this sounds great. Yeah, this sounds great. Okay, so this is, quite a chunker. Oh, I love though. Look at that. Don't we love a good flop? Listen, we love a good flop. We love a good flop around here. All right. And then I picked up Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres because, again, beautiful cover. And I assumed that this meant that it was fantasy because I've been getting into more and more into fantasy. I do find it very enjoyable. But honestly, this time I picked up the book, not only because of the gorgeous cover, I mean, the color scheme is everything, but I picked it up because of the New York Times sticker. I used to solely buy books only on the New York Times bestseller list. True story. And so now that I have opened my mind up to a broader range of books, that's going to sound weird because New York Times definitely has a broad range of books. But, I used to be a bit of a book snob. It's true. It's true. I used to be a bit of a book snob, and I probably still am if I'm telling the truth. But I will say that being a part of this book community has introduced me to more authors and just more genres that I wasn't reading before. And for that, I am so grateful because I'm having a great time. So this book was definitely a pickup because of both of those reasons. And so it says, for generations, the Calate family, I think that's how you pronounce that, has guarded a collection of ancient and rare books. Oh, this is about books. Oh, I guess I should have realized that, because ink and scribe. Oh, yeah. The brain be braining. Okay. Books that let a person walk through walls or manipulate the elements. Books of magic that half-sisters Joanna and Esther have been raised to revere and protect. What? Ah, that sounds so good. All right. And then these next books I picked up because I follow Kalila D, and I think it's not Kalia, right? There's an L, right? And girl, forgive me. I swear that girl is my niece. She gives me, right? When I was her age, like, I'm like, I just want to be like, girl, call me. We need to talk, because I feel like we're like the same person. I'm just 20 plus years older than her. I love her channel. I watch her religiously, faithfully. And she talked about this book, and I said, okay, I'm gonna get it, because niece said get it, so I'm gonna get it. And that book is What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. And it's really small, and it's such a cute book, and the cover is just wild to me. And so by the title, I figure it's probably something that is on the creepier side, more horrific. I don't honestly remember what Kalila said about the book. I just remember that she loved it. And talked about it a few times, but I don't know that she actually told us much of very many details about the story, which is perfectly fine. I love like not knowing. So I did. So let's see. It says, I'm a friend of the ushers, I say. The servant nodded gravely at this information. Would you like to come inside? Yes, I said, aware that I was lying. I did not want to go into that tired house dripping with fungus in architectural eyes. But Madeline had summoned me here, and here I was. See, I live for a good comma, and the comma was not there, but okay. So it says it's gripping and atmospheric, and okay. Oh, it's a reimagining of Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher. Okay. Well. Well, I'm looking forward to it, because I have also heard from lots of other people too that T. Kingfisher is an author to read, and they also enjoyed this book. So to the point where I actually went ahead and purchased What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher, because, you know, it was on BookOutlet. It was on BookOutlet, of course, at a reduced price, and I thought, why not? So I know a lot of you don't like to buy mismatched books. So this one's paperback and this one's hardcover. It's not that serious for me. And this is where Gen X comes in, right? We're like, I'm good. I don't care. Doesn't have to be a match for me. They can both live on my shelf and I'll be fine. So I'm really excited about this one. I don't know if this is a part 2 or if this is just a similarly like gruesome title, but it does say on the back, enter a cold, silent forest and find out what feasts at night. In this new Gothic tale, from best-selling and award-winning author T. Kingfisher. So I don't think that they're related, but it sounds like another short novel that is going to either make me like cry at night and sleep with all the lights on. I don't know. We're gonna find out. All right, so that was box 1. Can y'all hang in for one more box? I promise to go fast. Whew. I was fighting with that box. All right, let me put my scissors down. Take me a sip of water. I'm a little parched after all this talking. Ooh, this is gonna be a long video. My first like full length, I guess like really long video on this platform as a booktuber. So that's exciting for me. Lots of editing probably. Okay. So again, another mixed bag of books, or mixed box of books. So I picked up Amazing Grace Adams by Fran Littlewood because, come on now, she on the cover with a middle finger up. Like that kind of irreverence is like, I would never. So I love other people who are irreverent. I get down on that, but I could never. So I picked it up for that reason. And it says, Amazing Grace Adams tells the story of a life, a marriage, a family set against a single day in an ordinary woman's life. It's a roller coaster ride of redemption and discovery, and a powerful celebration of the fact that behind every ordinary woman is an extraordinary one. Okay. And then the next book I picked up is Blood Debts. And again, gorgeous cover, had to get it. And so this book is by Terry J. Benton Walker. And I think it's fantasy, but we're about to find out. It says 30 years ago, a young woman was murdered. A family was lynched. Okay. Woo. And New Orleans saw the greatest magical massacre in its history. In the days that followed, a throne was stolen from a queen. Oh, okay, so I guess it is fantasy, but set in sort of a realistic setting. Okay. On the anniversary of these brutal events, Clement and Christina Trudeau, the 16-year-old twin heirs to the powerful magical dethroned family, discovered their mother is cursed by someone on the very magic council their family used to rule. Someone who will come for them next. Oh my goodness. That sounds fantastic. So I know that this is, I think it's a duology. Did I also buy? Let me see. Okay, I did not. So then the second book might not have been there. But oh my goodness. Because for once I was paying attention and saw that. This was like one of two. Okay. And then another book I picked up because of my niece. She's not my real niece. But she's my booktube niece, Kalila D. She raved and raved about this book. Everything I know about parties, dates, friends, jobs, everything I know about love by Dolly Alderton. She raved about this book so much that I thought, I gotta get it, because if you're talking about rereading this book, I gotta get it. This is probably the first time though that a book has come in as a little jacked up. I mean, is it the worst thing in the world? No, but it looked like it's been, it's been worn through. It's been worn through. Okay. And so it says that when it comes to trials and triumphs of becoming an adult, Dolly Alderton has seen and experienced it all. And so this is about her bad dates, her good friends, and all the things in between. And I'm really looking forward to reading this. I have heard many booktubers talk about this, but Kalila's, her videos where she has brought this book up just rings in my head, because she talked about it just so affectionately and with so much passion that I knew I had to get it. All right. So another book I had to pick up because Leslie Jones is so hysterical to me. And I'm not a big stand-up person. I don't watch a whole lot of television and blah, blah, blah. But when I saw her memoir, I was like, oh, I bet that will have me like crying tears. And so I had to get it. Leslie effing Jones, a memoir. And I'm looking forward to it. Okay. The next book I picked up, I could not believe I found this in BookOutlet, because I was waiting for the second book to come out, because I just knew that I was going to want to read book one and then immediately run into book two. But when I saw this on BookOutlet, I knew. I said, oh my goodness, I gotta get it. And that is Blood at the Root. Blood at the Root by Ladarian Williams. Y'all, I have been wanting this book for so long. And I waited and waited. And you know what? This is one of the times where the angels were smiling on me, because they knew that I was going to be able to get this book. And I am so excited to have it in my possession. I cannot wait for the second book to come out. I haven't even read this, and I already know this is going to be a 5-star banger for me. I already know. So I can't wait for the second book to come out. And first of all, like I said it, blue is my favorite color. Chocolate young man on the cover. Like, come on, this is gorgeous. So if you have not heard of this book, let me just tell you that it says 10 years ago, Malik's life changed forever. The night his mother mysteriously vanished. Everybody's mama being be like disappearing. Oh my goodness. So his mother mysteriously vanished and he discovered he had uncontrollable powers. Since then, he has kept his abilities hidden, looking out for himself and his younger foster brother, Tay. Now at 17, Malik is finally ready to start a new life for both of them, far from the trauma of his past. However, during a daring act to rescue Tay reveals an unexpected connection with his long-lost grandmother, a legendary conjurer with ties to a hidden magical university that Malik's mother attended. Okay, so there's also a university involved. So I'm assuming it's going to be it's going to be an HBCU, and I'm here for it. I'm so excited. I'm excited about all of the books that I got, but I think this might be the number one. This might be the number one stunner for me out of this book haul. Number one stunner. I'm so excited about this one. And then the last two books I'm gonna show you together because they are part of a series, and I don't know if they're a duology or if it continues. And so what is this? It's The Serpent of the Wings of Night. Oh, is that what it is? The Serpent and the Wings of Night. It's The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. If I have to tell you, then I will. But listen, this book has been everywhere. I feel like almost every video I watch, someone is talking about this book and highly recommending it. It was all over Book Talk, all of that. So I finally broke down because I was like, you know what? Book Talk done got me a few times. I know they done got you, and they done got me a few times. And some of them I've been like, yes, this is a great book. And others I've been like, ooh, no. Credence, anyone? So I wasn't too sure I was going to get this. But when I saw it on BookOutlet, I said, well, you know what? Here's my opportunity. And if I'm not digging the book or the series, then I can donate. I can donate these books. I have a wonderful thrift store near my house that, that I like to visit frequently because they have great books in there, and I can donate. So, but just to give you a sense of what this book is about, because I won't read the back of the second book, which is The Ashes and the Stars. Wait, I cannot figure out this title. The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. That's the title. The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. So I'm not going to read this, I'm not going to read the synopsis on this one because I will just do this one. And like I said, it's a duology. And it says, the adopted human daughter of the Nightborn Vampire King. Oh, a vampire. We love vampires around here. So Araya, the adopted human daughter of the Nightborn Vampire King, Araya, carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kenjari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. I love books with tournaments. I didn't know this about myself until I read Phantasma. I mean, I knew because I read all the Hunger Game books back in the day. And then when I recently read Phantasma, I was like, oh, wow, I guess I really do like, fantastical games and tournaments. So, yeah, I'm excited just to know that that's what's in this book. So that's exciting. And again, nice floppy paperback. And then it comes with the hardcover. I don't care. It's fine. So that is it, y'all. How many books? This is 1, 2, 3, 8. Y'all, I introduced 28 books. That's kind of wild. But also really exciting. I got some great titles and I'm excited. And so let me know if any of these books have piqued your interest, if you've read any of them, if you're going to be reading any of them based on the introduction that you got today in my video. And I think that is it. I thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit, watching my video. I'm just starting out on YouTube and I'm very excited to be here. And I hope that you will continue to rock with me and bring some friends along the way. Please subscribe, like, and talk to me down in the comments, okay? I'll see y'all next time. Bye.